Boom, what is going on, guys? Welcome to the vlog. Alright, so if you haven't already, make sure you drop me a like, make sure you subscribe, turn on that bell for notifications. I love you and I don't want you to miss this content. So guys, we're going to have a really cool treat for you today. We're going to see my boy Alex Pardo, Flip Empire Show. He is an amazing dude. He runs a big, wholesale operation here in South Florida. So I'm going to meet him at Wholesale before we go for lunch. We're going to go do that. In the elevator. Run a little bit late, just being honest. So anyway, guys, we're gonna actually record our lunch. We're gonna talk about some strategies, stuff that we're doing right now, flipping houses, what the market looks like this year. So really stay tuned for that and enjoy this. Alex is a great guy. If you haven't, make sure you follow him on Insta. Go check out his podcast. And I'm really excited for you guys to hear more from him because he's a great guy that you can learn a lot from. So there's gonna be some really good nuggets in this one. So let's go to lunch.
So I turned 40 July 2nd this year, and one of our goals is, so we're traveling 60 days this year as a family.
Nice.
And we're spending 3.5 weeks hopping around the Greek islands.
Dude, that's great.
So on my 40th, I'll be in Santorini.
Dude, that's amazing.
Yeah, we're doing 6 islands in like 3 weeks.
That's what this business can do for you, man.
It's the best.
I mean, right?
I couldn't imagine, man. Like, you think back to those like turning point decisions in your life, and I remember for me when I was working with GE, it was like, had I not made that decision and had I like stayed comfortable making 50 grand a year, like how life would have been different.
It's interesting.
It's crazy,
you look back on those pivotal moments, right?
It's crazy.
Where it's like you could have went either way. It's like,
or the people that are placed in your life, a conversation you have, and you just never know how your life turns out completely different.
Yeah.
If you go this way versus that way, you make one little decision.
yeah. Hey, another thing I noticed too, bro, is like a lot of people like come into your life and then they're there just for a season. And it's almost like it helps you, makes you better in some way, and you help them in some way. But it's like it's interesting how you have that dynamic as you're moving through, you know.
Yeah.
So
Let's see if you like this one.
yeah, right.
It looks filtered until she shakes it.
Right. Yeah. You gotta drink something too. Oh, I didn't try.
We were just talking about this. I completely forgot this thing was there. But it's yeah, man. It's. And by the way, I used to look back at certain people in my life and be like, man, we lost touch and things happen in life. But like you said, they're here for a season, for a reason, man.
Yeah.
And
For a season and a reason.
And
That's a great way. Yeah.
And let me tell you, the older I get to, the more like grateful I am for like even the little things. Like, dude, it could be a random text you and I exchange, or just like because you just. We recently had someone that was relatively close to us that's not here anymore, and he just
Like passed away.
Yeah, passed away.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, so my wife's brother essentially decided to take his life, and this was it's been about 2.5 years, but man, like
So sorry to
she's
hear
still
that.
I mean, you live and you learn, right? But I still kind of experience it because of the pain that she goes through from time to time, and it's just a reminder that like, you
I
can't
can't
take shit for
imagine
granted.
how hurtful that was.
Yeah,
My mom dealt with the same, well, not the same because her brother didn't take his own life. They got hit when he was 17 years old by a car
So
and
sad, bro.
and like threw him like 30 foot there, killed him. It was horrible. Drunk driver.
17 years old?
17 years old.
It's super cliche to sign James, but like you just feel like life is a
Yeah, my
promise, you just
grandma
never
never
know.
really got over that completely. Her entire life. To lose her
Life
son
can
at
change in an
17.
instant, man.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like every day,
Sometimes when I'm stressed or I sweat things, I just remind myself that like, oh, that was fast.
All right, bro. Here, you want to drink some of this sake?
You ever had sake?
No.
No.
He's like,
You don't take it's not a shot. You just sip it.
Oh, okay.
I guess you could shoot it out. Cheers, guys.
But I mean, so talk to me about what you're going to do. I mean, do you have any new things that you're going to do in the business this year?
Man, so that's such a loaded question. So here's what I'll tell you, man. I've had a couple conversations with people you and I are both friends with. We would have had this conversation a year ago, James. Like when I joined CZ, my vision, my goal, my focus was to grow and scale the wholesaling operation, get a COO in place,
Right.
and not be completely removed, but just like figure out what my true passion was.
Right.
Last year, one of the things I realized, man, was that growing and scaling a wholesaling operation, which is a transactional business, obviously, brother, I've lost. I still enjoy real estate, but I've lost passion. I couldn't remember what the hell you said, but this is awesome. This has to hit the blooper section. You're like, I still don't know what you said. Here, drink some sake, bro. So, dude, I was saying that, man, I enjoy real estate. I'm always going to do real estate. I'm always going to be involved in deal making and doing something. But as far as having that be my primary thing, I've just lost passion for wanting to grow and scale that kind of operation.
Right.
So, yeah, man, like working with my coach and having several conversations, like one of the things I really realized is through the podcast, impacting people, working with people, coaching people, that's where I get a lot of joy and fulfillment.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
and so what Steve and I are doing with Ascends, that's, I don't want to say real estate isn't the primary thing, man, because we still have a team, although strategically we've gone from a team of 8 to now a team of 4, really focused on trimming overhead and leaning out, you know, being more profitable. Because you know how it is, man. You start to hire, and you take on more overhead, and you think it should increase the bottom line, but oftentimes it goes the other way. At least for me. At least for me, dude. Yeah. That's what I experienced anyway. I made a ton of mistakes in the process, but
We did too, though. I mean, so we got rid of that one person, and it just wasn't a good fit, you know, anymore. And
what role did they have, or what seat?
they were like the lead coordinator,
Okay.
stuff like that. They did a lot of miscellaneous, like administrative and like integration style stuff.
Right.
But it just wasn't a fit anymore, you know, for where we were going. So
Was it an execution thing, or was it a core value, or wasn't a core values fit? It wasn't
really execution. I mean, partly, but and I don't want to really, because she's a great person, great employee, great like just overall get stuff done. Like she gets stuff done. But what it came down to was, you know, in that role where the most important thing above everything else is answering the phone and like being, you know, getting appointments, stuff like that. She would just have these days where she'd have these moods, and like you could hear it coming across the seller in her voice. And like, you know, it's not that warm, inviting. You know, you know
that makes
what I
a
mean?
huge difference,
And it
man.
makes a huge
Sellers
difference.
pick up on that stuff.
I mean, you gotta actually like want to be on the phone with them. And if you're, you know, if it comes across that, you know, you're just kind of going through the motions, and they're like doing your job or whatever, and like don't really care about their situation
100%.
you know. And that's the thing. Like we're there, like we really care, we really want to help them. So everyone's really got to encompass that on the team. And
So when
it
you
just wasn't there.
When you guys talked to her about this, because I'm assuming you had conversations, what was her attitude? What was her?
Many. We had many. And she was totally open to changing it. I don't know if she was able to at this point or not. But we had many conversations about it.
How big is your team now?
Right now, we just got rid of her. We're at like 8 right now. We're going to be hiring a couple more salespeople and stuff like that. We're not. Here's the thing, we're really profit focused as well. We're not worried about like blowing this thing up and making it like the biggest real estate investing business. That's smart. Like I don't give a damn.
So smart.
I don't give a damn if we do 4 deals a year, honestly, and make freaking, you know, $5 million versus doing, you know, 500 deals. Like for me, it's all about the easiest, the least resistance. And
You need to be sharing that message, and maybe you are, but more people need to hear what you just said.
Yeah.
Because I'm so tired of hearing,
it's an ego thing.
I did
It's like,
X
how many
amount of
do you
deals.
do? Yeah.
Dude, when we go to some of these groups that you and I are a part of, like, it's one of those questions that, like, kind of annoys me, man, because I get it, but it's like, who gives a shit how many deals you did? Like, how profitable are you?
I know.
You know?
Because that is really true, bro, because when you think about it, like, what is, and I do talk about this all the time, what's the first question that everyone asks when you meet someone? How many deals you done? I mean, it's like, and it's like tied straight into ego, right? It's like, it's not even a real question because it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter how many deals you're doing. Do 500 deals last year, we only made freaking $10,000. What the hell is it for?
Right.
It's irrelevant. It doesn't matter.
And what I find is that with more volume, you need more systems, more infrastructure, more team members, more moving parts, more complications.
It is.
I don't know, man. I'm thinking about, one of the questions I always ask myself is, how do I simplify this business even more? You know, how do I just like break it down to just versus all the moving parts?
I was talking to someone about this the other day, and it's so simple, but really is profound. It really is what you think about. It's a simple business. We make it hard.
Yes. I've been there. I'm guilty.
We've all done it. I think everyone that gets into it. But it's simple. We just make it hard. We make it hard. I mean, when you really think about what drives a wholesale business, there's only 4 things you really need to know. You know what I mean? When you really think about it, like, how many leads is it going to take you to get a freaking deal? You know, how much money do you have to spend to get that deal? Yep. You know what I mean? Like,
how much are you going on appointments?
Right. I mean, you can boil it down to, you know, basically 4 if you really wanted to. But there's a lot of we make it complicated.
Right. I remember last year, man, we started tracking, like, which, and I'm not trying to diminish it. I'm not saying the data
we
isn't
have
valuable.
all this type of tracking too, bro. Super in-depth.
Brother, I spent so much money on this, like, CEO dashboard type thing that told me, like, average pickup rate on the phone. Like, I could tell you how many seconds it took to pick this up and how many, like, it was just like, it looked like a damn pilot cockpit, like, going in there, and I'm like, this is great and stuff, but like, what am I doing with this information? Or, like, what kind of decisions am I making? And how do I, like, really simplify this to, like, a handful of things I really need to know?
Right.
So, not that stuff isn't important, but
no, it is. It is, especially, you know, when you're doing it at a really, really high level. But
and then if something breaks technically, you know, we go on this goose rabbit trail trying to fix it and going. It just, you know. But anyway,
so. Yeah, man, we make it complicated, honestly, and I mean, I think, so one of the messages I'm going to bring in this year that I haven't really talked about as much lately, but it really is the truth.
what's that?
Not that I was trying to hide it, but I think it's always been out there. This business is a gateway into real estate to build true wealth. This isn't the business that you want to do the rest of your life. You know, some people might want to. And you can certainly do that, you know, and stay transactional and everything else. But the reality of it is, for me, and the message I'm trying to get across is use this business. Always have this business, but don't make it your just main and end all be all, right? Build this thing out, get that thing producing cash, make it into a cash machine, take that cash and strategically use that to build wealth.
You
and
nailed it.
Holding assets, multi-family, stuff like that. Because you'll learn about that stuff as you're moving up and as you're, you know, doing more deals. And here's the thing: if you wanted to be the person that I wanted an assistant, I don't mind working every single day, and like I don't care as much about lifestyle and freedom. Like I'll grind it out, get on the phone every day, and like I'm okay doing 1 or 2 deals a month.
That shit gets old.
You know what I mean? But you know, there's plenty of people out there that are, you know, down to do that, and that's fine. You make a ton of money doing that with no overhead, no anything. Like you can make a ton of money. And the other point that I'll piggyback on that is once you understand how to do that, when you think about it, like you understand how to make money. Yeah. Right. Like, and I think as you're coming up in this business, it becomes a lot more about like understanding and learning how to make money more than it is about the actual what exactly it is that you're doing.
Yeah.
And becoming an entrepreneur. And like, you know, Marcus hit us with it like the other day. He was like, you know, you too. He was like. He was like, you too. He was like, you know what your real estate is? It's not that you love real estate as much as you think you do. Like, you just understand how to make money. And I'm like, you know, I never really thought about it like that, but I guess that makes sense, you know, and I guess that's the same for everybody with stuff, you know? I mean, once you understand how to do it, right, you always have that to fall back on. That's the thing. Like, if you lost everything you want, next week, you can freaking pick up the phone, get a list, or take one of your lists that you already have, freaking start pounding the phone. Like, you can freaking make something.
James, that's
like,
why
you're never going to stop.
The best investment, you know this, man. The best investment you can make is in yourself, man. That's why I spend, you know, 60 grand a year or whatever it is in personal development and trainings and coaches and masterminds. And,
right. Yeah, you never have to work for it again once you understand and know the business. Regardless of what you do with it, how far you take it, how you want to structure it, there's a million ways you can go with it. And I'm not saying that there's one way that's better or more right than the other. It really comes down to what fits for the person. But you always have it in your back pocket. If the world collapses, you can jump back in and you can make money.
Not just that, man,
money,
but
you know?
aside from what you're saying, also too, like, I place so much value on the relationship capital I have. You know, like the friendships, the relationships, being able to pick up the phone and bounce an idea off of something, or hey, I got this challenge going on. Like, people see things from different angles. And,
dude, 100%.
So
and that's the power of being in those groups that we're in. It's like, you know, people have experienced that same thing. And they have a different perspective than how we would look at it.
And you don't, it's super cliche, but you don't know what you don't know, right? And you just,
and you know what, dude? Like, that gets proven to me all the time. You think you know, but you don't. Or someone else has a different perspective. That can open your eyes.
Yeah.
You know?
What's impressive, let me tell you, man, from afar anyway, what's impressive about you guys, you and Hunter, is having a successful real estate investing business, you know, with your wholesaling, and now you're going to be doing a bunch more fix and flips. You growing your brand and everything you're doing on the education side with the software. Hunter pursuing, you know, commercial, and you guys being able to keep your eye on the prize and still, you know, succeed in those different areas. I mean, that's not an easy feat to accomplish.
Well, and you know, that was a big part of, thank you. That was a big part of the conversation that we had, you know, going into this year is, you know, making sure where our heads at, you know what I mean? Because it's like where he wants to see this business go with the software, with everything, like where he's feeling like for the wholesaling and you know, for us, like we both decide that we're going to use, you know, the wholesale flipping business is much more just a tool to get into those bigger deals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
and it goes back to your point about using the profits from wholesaling to make sure you're acquiring assets that produce cash flow, whether it's a software business or whether it's a rental property or commercial real estate, things that spit off cash flow, you know?
Yeah.
Dude, that's a mistake I made the first probably 10 years. I got so addicted to the money you can make wholesaling.
Yeah, the money, bro. The money gets in before you know it. You're like, man, I wish I would have bought, or you get a tax bill. And you're like, damn, I wish I would have took that freaking 100 G's or whatever it is and bought property with it.
Getting hit 30-35%.
Yeah.
In some cases even higher. That shit sucks, man. How's that mental about? I see you learn your lesson from sticking that like monster piece of chicken in your mouth.
Bro,
I can't wait to see that. I'm like talking about how, you know, like I'm totally changing things. What?
so anyway, where are we going with, like, so what do you, looking out over this year, what is the ideal team look like and like profitability percentage?
Yeah. So 40% profitability is where I'd really like to get to. Last year we were 28%.
Oh, dude, that's not bad though.
Which is not horrible. It's not terrible.
But that, dude.
Yeah.
You gotta drink one more of these.
Because we're a smaller team now, I see no reason we can't get to 40%.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because man, we do so much, and for 20 to 30% profit margin, it's not horrible, but it's like I feel like there's got to be more. You know what I mean?
How many people on there?
We had 8 up until August.
I mean, dude,
Now we're 4.
that's not a bad
Now
number.
we're 4.
I mean, it's not. I mean, obviously, it's not like the ideal, right? But it's not, dude. That's not bad at all. That's good.
No, I mean, obviously, it's not ideal, but it's not. We could be doing worse. But the biggest thing is, you know, having this business with 4. I have 2 key team members. That without them, like this thing would, you know, it wouldn't work without them. I'd have to step in, and I just come over that. Like the thought of me going out and speaking to a seller, meeting, like
Dude, this is not where your head's
it's just not where my head's at now. I've done it so much, you know. So I'm really fortunate to be surrounded by 3 other just really awesome people that steer the ship. I steer the ship, but they do a lot of the heavy lifting. You know, I mean, I'm still involved in the business. Don't get me wrong, but not to the degree that But yeah, man, it's not even so much about number of deals closed we were talking about. It's like I want to get to 40% profitability so that I can focus even more time on what we're doing with the send, the coaching, the mastermind. That's really where my passion
Yeah,
is.
so our planning came a lot down to actually to echo what you're saying is like the amount of money we want. Like in reverse engineering what that looks like versus how many deals we want to do. Because how many times you heard the plan is like, all right, we're going to do this many deals this year. What does that mean? All right, well, how much money? So Hunter and I broke it all the way down to how much we personally like want to make. You know what I mean? And back that out, like what that looks like.
Gross or net? Like,
No, like what we want to actually be making on a monthly basis, like passively and actively. And obviously before we didn't, you know, we're doing a profit first where everything was separated out. But so
I just implemented that like 3 months ago, man. It's been a game changer.
yeah, I mean, so I really want to just get to, you know, heavy on the passive, heavy on the passive because assets, bro. Assets.
Well, let me ask you this: what would
I do?
if you had all the money in the world, or as much money as you possibly want to have? If you knew that was there, what would you do for free? Like, what would you do with your life if you didn't have to like work for a penny again?
I mean, dude, I'd probably just, I'd probably just travel the world all the time, you know, and like just kind of bounce around.
So after you did that for a couple of years, what would you do then?
No, I would probably be here crushing it Miami at like 60.
I'm a dreamer, man. I love thinking about. I feel like I'm pretty present, but I like thinking about like what's possible.
You know what though? I would still, and I'll be completely honest with you, I would still be doing this kind of stuff.
I believe that. I believe that.
Yeah, and still like helping other people, you know, because I look at it like this. Like whenever, let's just say something happened to me like a couple years, or whatever, right? And I'm dead. And I know it's cliche, but I think about like, would any like random people just show up because like I've inspired them? I've like, so it's like really making an impact. There's something about like it comes to a point where you really don't like get a lot of money, you don't need more money, like you're fine. So it's like what else are you doing to make an impact? You know? And so yeah, even if I had all the money like I could possibly spend or whatever, what is the guys are sticking this face?
No, I'm just laughing at something earlier. You keep going, it's deep. Oh, keep going, bro. It's good.
I feel like your flow just got broken.
Yeah, dude. He's like Jesus.
No, but seriously, you hit the nail on the head, man. At a certain point,
would you make an impact? Like, if you changed anyone's life, if you inspired anybody, have you know, motivated them to quit their job, to do something different, you know, when they hate their life. And so, I mean, that's why I love going out. And like, when I see people and like they come up to me or whatever, I see them and they're out there and they're like, oh yeah, you know, I'm using this or doing this. It's like, you know, that matters.
No, I'm telling you. So I was at an expo and we introduced Jason Wardrobe from Life Inner on stage. About 400, 500 people at Palm Beach Convention Center. I had, I don't know, man, 6, 7 people come up to me about the podcast and what it's done for them. That feeling floors me. Like I can't, like, dude, we just closed a pretty big deal. I felt so much better by random people coming up to me and just thanking me for the podcast than I did closing a deal. Like, as crazy as that sounds.
Yeah, no, dude.
It's weird, dude.
It's a whole different type of feeling.
Yeah.
You know? It's a whole different type of feeling. Like, because you get used to making money.
Yeah.
You know, you get used to that, but it's like, you really get used to, like, impacting people's lives.
I'll share this, man. My wife and I in August, we attended a workshop, and one of the exercises in that workshop was write your eulogy. But here's the thing, like people may have heard like, oh, you write your own eulogy.
Right.
So there was a 2-part exercise. It said, write your eulogy as to what you would want the person speaking on your behalf to say about you. That was the first part.
That's an interesting one.
It was pretty deep, man. So when you go through the process, it took about half an hour. So you I wrote out like 2 pages of what I would want somebody saying about me at my own funeral. The second part, this is where it got interesting. What would that person say about you if they couldn't lie? If they couldn't, ideally you'd want them to say.
That is very good.
And then the idea with these 2 exercises was, where's the gap between what you want them to say and what they would say?
Right.
And those are the things to work on in life. You know what I mean? It's like, because... Anyways, it was pretty deep exercise. My wife and I went through
No,
it.
I mean, dude, that sounds like a great exercise. You know what I mean? It does. Yeah, one more for you.
But it's so true, man. You get to a certain point in your life where it's about the impact, it's about the contribution, it's about the people you've helped, and what you can do for others. You know.
Yeah, man. And I mean, don't get me wrong. I still want that personal
Of course.
and financial growth. I want to go out there and I want to crush it. And I mean, I'm still.
Doesn't mean you have everything figured out.
Right. And I mean, that's the thing. Like, I think everyone needs to understand that none of us have it all figured out. It doesn't matter if you're making freaking $1 billion a year. That person hasn't figured it out. You know, so we're all on this journey together. So if we can collectively move together and build that kind of momentum together, that's what's really powerful, and that's how you make real impact.
James, the truth is, I don't believe I'll ever have everything figured out because you're constantly learning,
Dude,
you're constantly growing.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
we all make mistakes.
I think
man,
all
you
of
know?
us go our entire lives and never have it all.
Bless you.
Never have it figured out.
That was random in the middle of a conversation. Bless you.
Heard a sneeze.
Yeah, man. Dude,
I heard a sneeze outside.
I think as far as the content people put out, man, I wish I would see more people like what you're doing, being like real, vulnerable, authentic. We all make mistakes, bro. You know,
Yeah,
but
dude,
everybody out there.
perfect, dude. I'm working hard on like
This
making it
content's
better
perfect,
and better.
man.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not ragging on anybody, but I just like we're trying to get away from, you know, like and I'm not saying we're doing this, we're really not, but there's just a lot of it out there that just seem like so far thought out that it's almost like borderline like what's real.
Yeah. And it comes across too.
You know what I mean? Because that's what the impression some of it gives me, and I'm not, you know, saying anything about anyone else's stuff, but I mean, because I'm far from like perfect one too. Like I can speak much clearer, better, faster, like sharper, like so I'm
It's
working
never
on
gonna
that.
be perfect, man. Just the fact that you're doing this and providing value is something
That's
to appreciate.
really the point that I'm trying to get across. Yeah.
But it's just when you see people that you know what's really going on behind the scenes, but they're putting out something out there that it's like,
Yeah,
just
well,
be
we
real, man.
know quite a few of those.
Yeah, so many people can appreciate more just transparency and vulnerability because, like we were talking about, man, nobody's got everything figured out. I make a ton of mistakes on a daily basis. You grow from it,
Dude,
you know?
I make so many mistakes. Wow, that's gonna look like I peed my pants. That perfect drop. Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about? That perfect drop. When you pick up your water glass, your ice water, you go to drink it, and it's like
I'd like to
it
confirm.
just rains
Yeah.
on your light
It's-
pants, and then you get up and you gotta wash your hands. And it's like this guy pissed all over himself.
If you were wearing white pants,
Can you
I'd say
relate? Hey, like and comment right now if you can relate to that.
this guy. If you would have showed up here in white pants, I would have said James has really got Miami Vice eyes.
I know, right?
But dude, let me ask you a question, man. So going back to what I was sharing with with you and Hunter, what's in your opinion? This is an honest question. What's your, and hopefully people can get something out of this. What's your opinion on the balance between focusing on the one thing, like Gary Keller talks about it in the book, and the pumpkin plan? Like focus on that one thing, get that dialed in as big as you can, or whatever that looks like, versus the approach that you guys have taken, but you're doing it successfully. Versus I see people that doing this business and they're
Yeah,
doing a little bit
we've
of
had
this.
a lot of setbacks too, though.
No,
You know,
that-
yeah,
but that-
we've had
that's
a lot of
inevitable.
setbacks, and
I don't know how you guys
think
do
that
it.
we can get much more successful than we already are. And you know, for me, on this side of the business, that comes down to like getting even better at delivering more value and helping more people. You know what I mean? Reaching more people. That's really what it comes down to for this side. But you know, and actually on the other side as well, you can almost say that for any business, right? To be honest with you. But what we've really like thought through is where strategically, because I've always been the sales and marketing side of the real estate business. That's always been my strength, and then his strength is more on the financing side, raising money, operations side. Like that's where his genius really is. So we have someone in the office now that, excuse me, before like since I'm gone, that's like an office manager. She understands the business really, really well. She understands the business really, really well, so that helps too. But we decided like, okay, so how do we divide and conquer this the right way? And there's still like the stuff that I'm involved in the real estate business, like on the sales and marketing side and everything else. But anything to do with Hunter's side, where before maybe I was involved in that, like I'm not involved in that anymore. Like he's running that. And then vice versa. There's some of the financing side and like accounting side that he's involved in, like the.
So what I'm hearing is there's a clear definition of
There's
each
a clear
roles.
definition of what we're doing, right? And like we're both in alignment and like where we want to take those businesses.
Yeah.
And dude, we're still 50-50 on everything. Everything that we all do, like that Hunter and I do, we split, right? So. Yeah, we just really focused in on how do we divide and conquer the right way and clearly define exactly what. So not just what we're going to do, but I think it also comes down to like where do you want these businesses to go? Because then if you're not clear on that and in alignment, then guess what? Your visions are changing along the way, right? Because like maybe his mind was like, oh, I thought we were just going to like try to do this with that, or and vice versa. It becomes all these things. So we projected out over 5 to 10 years. Like where do we want to have these things in 5 to 10 years? Like what do they look like? You know, what does the teams look like? And we project all that out, and like we both like deadlock agreement on that. So if one of us has an idea that the other one doesn't, then we talk that out and we're like, okay, so that makes sense.
Dude, it's what we were talking about when we were walking here, that like when you have a business partner, it's that much more important to do, like we were talking about yearly. I want to kind of modify that, append that, and say quarterly check.
Yeah, I think that's valid, dude.
Because dude, to your point, like things change in your life and you have different goals and aspirations, and like if you're not lockstep, like you were saying, it's hard to run, like to go in the same direction when you want to go this way and he wants to go this way. I mean,
it doesn't work. It doesn't work, and that's how
you tread water.
Many partnerships are torn apart.
Yeah. Cheers to you guys, man, because partnerships can be difficult. You guys have been making it work for a long time.
I mean, yeah, man, but you know, we've had our ups and downs. You know, we've had our ups and downs.
If you told me otherwise, I don't know that I believe you. You know what I'm saying? Because like, how can you not have your ups and downs?
Yeah,
that's just that's normal.
Yeah,
man.
I mean,
it's just like when you get married, man.
I mean, you basically, and I'm gonna tell you, dude, like a big part of he's a critical part of this freaking whole piece. You know what I mean? None of this would be like, it couldn't work the way that it does now if it wasn't for like, you know, him and like his knowledge on things. Like
he'd say the same about you.
Yeah, we're the yin and the yang, right? So like he's got a skill set that like, you know, I have a skill set that he doesn't have. And then there's certain things that we have similar skill sets in certain things, but like he might be better, I might be better. So it's like, it's just like this good balance. You know, but it all started with like the alignment of the core values. Because without that, like, you know, it's like, what are you doing? If you don't have that, there's no sense even trying to get into any kind of like a partnership.
So I totally agree with you, and at the same time, I see so many people getting into business that are starting this business just because they're scared, they're fearful, so they partner up, and they end up, and that's just the wrong reason, man. That's just not gonna work.
Yeah,
it's not gonna work,
and that's it, man. You can't, like, operating out of fear is the...
You know what I'm saying? You see newbies partnering up, that they meet at a RIA or something.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, that's basically, you're basically at that point, you're just trying to survive, not to...
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like, if you operate from trying to survive and not thrive, like, you're always going to lose.
Yep.
Like, even if shit's going horribly wrong, you should still be pushing it to thrive. I mean, in my opinion, that's what's worked for us. Like, if we're in, like, a bad rut or, like, whatever, like, at the beginning of last year, and I told everybody this, we rebuilt all our marketing channels. So that first quarter of last year was horrible.
Yeah.
You know, it was horrible for us because we literally, like, rebuilt our entire engine and, like, we just wanted to do something different. We wanted to try to drive the profitability up. We wanted to try to, you know what I mean? Like, we want to try to push the envelope a little bit to see.
You should with marketing, man, because it gets stale, it gets stagnant, and we live in but like our community, our niche, our space. There's so many copycats, myself included. Like, I'll test your piece, you test my piece. Everybody's sending out the same shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. So our acquisition manager goes out and sometimes like we collect the swipe files. So sometimes she'll come back with people's pieces. I shit you not, man. You know, this 98% of the pieces basically look and say the same.
Yeah.
So it's like we're competing for the 3% of the market that's distressed, and we're all sending them the same message.
You'll hear some really interesting stats.
What's that?
So, you know, last year, only about 1,000 fix and flippers. So, you know, like actual fix and flippers bought a house, fixed it up, sold it. did more than 5. Okay, so only 1,000 out of the entire country. Fix
really
and
low.
flip.
That's a low
more
number.
than 5 properties.
I would have guessed significantly more.
Wow. Only 1,000.
That's really interesting.
Now there's a ton of
That did a couple, the
that
onesies,
did a couple,
twosies.
the onesie twosies, but
Yeah.
as far as did over 5, there's like 1,000.
Wow.
That's an interesting stat. Now,
It is
as far as
interesting.
wholesalers, there's obviously a ton more wholesalers,
Right.
you know, and everything else. But the reality of it is, even a small percentage of them is only doing over 5 deals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean when you really think about it. So, and you know, here's the thing: there's going to be a lot of people that are upset about that, and then there's going to be a lot of people that are like, well, yeah, like that's what we do because that's all we want to do.
Right.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because think about it, man. There's people that if they live in, let's just say, and I'm not picking on anybody. Let's just say freaking Missouri, where I was just at. You know, if that person can do like just from the leisure of their own home on their laptop or wherever they want to go, do like 5 deals a year. The cost of living there is like super low. Maybe they average $5,000 to $10,000 a deal.
Yeah, decent living doing that, man. If you don't have, you know,
like,
you have
if
a,
they do 10 deals, let's just say 10 G's a deal, like that's $100,000, and they're at like the top 1% of that area.
That's crazy.
That
puts things in perspective.
Here, you're the average.
Mm-hmm.
Like you make right at 100 here, like you're on the lower spot.
And if you have a family, that's tough.
It's even it's even tougher. You know? So
You know, it's an interesting. So we just had our annual meeting. We operate off of EOS, and I told my team, I said, and I challenged them. I said, pretend you're not a part of this business, and I hired you as a consultant. Look at the business from a 30,000-foot view and tell me how you would put this business, like where are the weak points in this business, where this business is susceptible to fail.
yeah, that's a great exercise.
And how would you, if you were a competitor to this business, how would you put us out of business? And I tell the team members, I say, you're not an employee here, you don't
Let me
operate
say
here.
something. That's a great question. And you know what? I don't know if I've ever heard anyone ask their team that or heard about that, but that's a phenomenal question. If you were my competitor, how would you put us out of business knowing the inner workings of the company?
Right.
I think that's a phenomenal question.
Yep. So that's something I'm constantly thinking about is if I hired myself as a consultant, like I'll give you a very vulnerable answer. I told my team we're one-trick ponies. Right now, we're basically only wholesaling. So if we can't buy your house at 60, 70 cents on the dollar, it's very challenging for us to actually help you and provide a service. So we need to be looking at seller finance, we need to be looking at novations, we need to be looking at potential listing opportunities. And yeah, we outsource those to certain people, but like in-house, I said right now we're one-trick ponies. We're very susceptible in that, and we're only right now pretty much direct to seller.
Right.
We're not getting deals off the MLS or with agents, and so it was really eye-popping to go through that experience or to go through that annual and ask my team those questions. So the
Dude, I
answers-
think that's a great exercise.
so.
And we talk about a lot of the similar stuff, like in our meetings and stuff like that, but we've never asked them.
Ask your team. You'd be surprised the kind of answers you get, and challenge them. Say again,
Yeah, we
take
never asked
yourself
them that.
out of
I
this
think
business.
That's a great, guys. And by the way, if you haven't, I know I talked about this earlier, but if you haven't, follow Alex on Instagram. His show, Flip Empire. I've been on there twice. Phenomenal podcast. Check that out on iTunes.
That was one of my favorite episodes, by the way. That was fun. We're doing it in your condo. That was fun.
Dude, like, I love this guy. He's awesome. So make sure you check him out. All right. So go check out my boy here, and you'll get a ton of value from it. Like, I mean, that question you just asked. That's a great question for the team. We never ask our team that, but I like that a lot.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. The answers they give you can be really, really powerful for you.
I love that, dude.
And when you ask it genuinely, it shows them that you really care about what they think. You know, it's not just.
Yeah, and you know, here's the thing, man, and I've talked about this a lot, and we've made a lot of mistakes in that regard, like early on, you know, because, you know, again, man, like you get in this business and like, you know, if you don't have a hard management, leadership background, like all this stuff, you're growing a team, you're building a business, it's like, you know, most people don't come from that kind of background. It's a completely different skill set.
Yeah, totally.
You know what I mean? And a lot of us as, you know, entrepreneurs and business owners, we're very, like, most of us are visionaries. You know, so we're already, like, we're in the vision and, like, you know, we don't like being down here in the weeds of like accountability and all this stuff. And it's like, if you don't have that implemented in your team, guess what? That shit's gonna go sideways. Like, you gotta hold everyone accountable. There's just a whole nother level of skill set, time, and you know, abilities that go into building this on a large scale. So that's why I always ask everyone, anyone that I coach or like teach or like even people, friends like you, like whoever, right here, you know, is that really what you want? Do you want to be in the office grinding every day, building this out in just this kind of way, or is it better building it out in a way that's like, look, this is the machine that provides us the avenue to build wealth.
James, that's why I'm such an advocate of like having, one of the things that we do with Ascend when we work with people is like, what's the vision for your life? Forget about business for now. What do you want your life to look like?
Right.
And then make sure that whatever you're doing, the time you're spending in your business is aligned and it's going to help support that vision, that lifestyle.
Dude, I totally agree with that.
So
I totally agree with that.
I see people making decisions based on what they see others do on social media, but they don't know the inner workings. They don't have the behind the scenes.
Just be who you are.
Yeah.
That's
Be
really
authentic. Be yourself.
Yeah.
That's probably the best thing that's been said the whole day. And it's nothing sexy, but it's just be yourself.
Just be who you are, you know? Whoever you are, just be that person, but don't try to fake it or, you know what I mean, try to get that too soon. Love the process that it takes you to get there.
That's good. That's good. Love that you have to learn I have to learn to love the journey.
Gary Vee talks about that a lot, but it is really true. And you know, like a couple of years ago, I made that realization in myself. Like, you know, I really do enjoy it. Like, if things aren't going that good, like that hypes me up because like, all right, so now I feel like I'm gonna make it even better. Yeah. So when everything's going perfect, like I'm not happy.
Yeah. Something you kind of have to disrupt or something. Something it's almost too.
But you know what though, and that's our detriment because everything can be going perfect. And we're like, we
And
gotta go in
find a
there
way
and
to F it up.
we gotta go in there and shake it up, you know, or we gotta try this new channel now, or like do this one a little bit different.
Dude, we're all guilty of that one.
You know what I mean? And it's like not saying that it's good or bad. I mean, most people would argue it's bad. But my point that I'm trying to get across is, I'm not saying it's good to go in there and like just shake everything up, it's working perfect. What I'm saying is like just enjoying like when things aren't going that great, because naturally the instinct is like, oh shit, and, you know, and you freak out. It's like, okay, so now I have an issue. How do I make the business or whatever this thing is way better than it was before? And that's the opportunity that excites me.
Yeah, I get it. I totally agree with you. And man, it's seasons in life, right?
You know, seasons
in life.
It all goes back to that.
One of the things that has been really helpful for me lately, and when I say lately, over the course of the last year and a half, is whenever something's messed up in my life or whenever there's something going on that's not ideal for me, I'm always asking myself, like, where's the lesson? What am I supposed to learn? I learned this for a reason. What am I supposed to learn? Because that's where you grow, the problems. Not when everything's like, you know, peaches and rainbows.
Bro, did you ever watch that Steve Jobs commencement speech?
I didn't. I've heard of it, but I didn't.
Bro,
I gotta do it right.
I know, I'm gonna send it to you. It's only like 10 minutes long, 15 minutes. I think it was for Stanford. I think it was a commencement speech for Stanford.
Okay.
And he said something in there, and I'm sure you've seen the quote. And he was like, if too many days pass by, that I wake up and I'm not happy, like I don't enjoy what I'm doing, like you gotta make a change. Mm-hmm. You know, and so what he was really, you know, stressing, what he was really good at was like if too many, like he was good at staying on top of that, and like he dropped some freaking bombs, like just some straight wisdom bombs.
Yeah, here, Steve Jobs commencement speech.
Oh well, I would sit you. I don't have my phone, but
Here, let me.
because of you, I can. Love you guys. I love you. Like, subscribe.
Gotta throw it in there, right?
Comment.
Steve Jobs.
Tell your friends.
I'm guessing it's got to be this one. Yeah, this one right
Yeah,
here.
dude, the Stanford.
From 2005.
15 minutes, dude. I'm telling you, that one right there. That one is absolutely gold. If you guys haven't watched that, go watch that. I'm telling you, he dropped some serious bombs.
So thank God for people like this, right? The visionaries, like what this guy created. But you know what was really sad about Steve Jobs? Did you get his book? the book right before it was either released before or after he passed.
No, I didn't read it.
So it's a monster book. I
know, I've seen it, and I was like, I'm not reading it.
It's a monster book, but you
Not
know.
enough photos for you.
No, it's not.
So, dude, I
I'm
don't
a
know.
visual guy.
It's a thick
Or an
book.
audio.
So I don't know if this is true, but I heard from multiple people, and I think I read some blogs on this. He wrote that book so his kids can get to know him, and that broke my heart.
Dude, that's sad.
That's really sad, right?
That's
Thank
sad.
God for everything he built and what he did, but to think that you have to write a book, he worked so much that his kids didn't even know him. Like that breaks my heart, bro.
Dude,
Like,
that's
having
horrible.
kids, that's why I get the message of grind and hustle and work your face off.
Yeah.
There's a time and place for that. But like,
10X, baby.
when you're doing that,
And I love Uncle G, by the way.
yeah, he's a beast. He's a beast.
beast.
But when you do that, the message I think that people are misconstruing is that when you do that and you sacrifice life and what's really important, I think that's a tragedy, bro. At least for me, my opinion.
I
And
agree,
this is
man.
what
I
you
think
wanna do
it's
then.
a balance, right? It's like, and I can't speak on that because I don't have kids, but I'm sure, you find a way to balance. And I'm sure you're always keeping that in check. So,
And it's
kudos
hard
to you.
sometimes.
Dude, I'm sure that's super hard because in your mind, you're like, man, if I just stay at the office
You're
for
an
like an
achiever,
extra
you
hour,
wanna do
you
more.
want to do more. So
Yes,
it's like
exactly.
putting that priority, dude. Like, I have a high level of respect for you to be able to do that because it's tough, and I just don't understand it because I'm not at that point where I have it. But yeah, kudos to you for being able to draw that line. It's like, look, no matter what time it is, what I have going on, like this is the time for my kids, and dude, that takes a lot of discipline.
Because James, like, what good is all the money and all the success if you don't have the right people to enjoy it with, and if
don't have
you're
the
making a bunch of
relationship
money
with
and
your family.
you're going through a divorce, or like your kids don't really you don't spend time with them, you don't have a relationship with your kids, like what's the point, man?
Yeah, I know. Dude,
But I didn't have
totally
that
agree with
perspective 7 years ago.
Yeah, because we're young, we're hungry, we're like, and that's it. So let me just say this: if you guys don't take anything away from this, like, just think about this, like all the stuff that we talked about today. Alex, how long have you been doing this business?
Since 2005.
2005. He's been doing this business since 2005. I've been doing it since 2010. Okay, so I'm on 10 years. He's 15 years doing this, and we've been down this road. No matter what the market is, or like it's different now, it's this, it's that, like we can throw all these different variables and things like that. The business is what the business is, right? The business hasn't changed too much as far as how it operates, how to do it, how it runs. It's still stayed very, very consistent over the years to a degree, right?
For the most part.
At its most simplistic form, I would say so. I can't speak for the 5 years before me, but regardless, right? So it's a simple business, it's just not necessarily easy. All right, just think about it, guys. Like we've been down the road, right? So we're sharing with you the wisdom of going down that road. If you're starting right now, or you've been going for a year or two or whatever, like take these thoughts and ideas and like what we were talking about, like away from this, and just really, I'm not saying like scare you or like get into like this crazy like not taking action anymore because I want to figure all this stuff out. That's not what we're trying to get across. Keep taking action, keep moving fast, keep doing what you're doing, but really think about the direction and where you're going, what the realistic goals are, and what you're trying to really accomplish. Okay, so think about 5-10 years from now, what you want that to be like, and then work that backwards, and then use this business to serve you getting to that point. Not the other way around. You're not serving the business. Use that business to serve you. That's really the biggest takeaway. If you take nothing else away from this today, just really think about that, because I'm telling you guys, like, it took us years and years, hundreds of thousands of dollars.
I'm just figuring this out, right?
To learn this stuff that you can basically implement and use today. All right, so I think that's key, man. Like, build the business around like what you want your life to be. Don't, and you know what? If you want your life to be, wake up at 6 in the morning and go to bed at midnight, or work till midnight every night, like hustle, and you're like 20 or whatever. Yeah, because we were all there, right?
Right.
But as you start getting a little bit older, you make a little bit more money and everything else, and you start really thinking about, hey, how can I strategically build like real wealth? That's right. You know what I mean? The transactional side is just a propeller to get me to the place that I want to be.
Enjoy the journey. Remember what Randy Couture told us about a year ago? Like, embrace the suck.
So, yeah, dude, I love that.
That was really good.
Dude, I love that. And, so one thing I was thinking this year, moving in this year, is what really encompasses me, because I wanted to come up with like a cool, like, kind of like tagline to build a community around, you know what I mean? That's like, it's recognizable. It's like, okay, that's James, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I came up with, and Matt and I were talking about, we kind of like crafted this together. And that encompasses like where I'm at in life, like what I really stand for, where we're going, like everything. And so the tagline is good. It's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle.
But you know what that means though? So then we echoed off of that, like it's a lifestyle, but what it means is doing whatever it takes to do whatever you want.
I love that.
So that's what it means.
It's simple.
So it's like it's a lifestyle, but that doesn't mean the typical like you gotta have a bunch of clout, you gotta have like freaking you're flossing or you're flexing and all this. So that isn't what it means. Like it's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. Like that can be part of it for you or whoever. But it's like you're just doing whatever it takes to do whatever you want.
Right.
And that's the lifestyle.
Right. Yeah.
So you enjoy both sides of it. You get the hustle, you get to enjoy the rewards.
Whatever that may look like.
Whatever that may look like for you. But like we're all on the journey together.
That's the thing. Like, get clear on what you want. Get clear on your vision. Start there, and then you can start to design a business and do everything to make sure that it's in alignment with that vision. That's the key, man. And get clear on what you want, not what you think you want, or because you see somebody else and that'd be cool, and you start going down this rabbit trail. Get clear on what you want. So you got to put in that inner work, and you gotta work on yourself more than you work on anything else.
Really. Yeah, dude, 100%. And I think we can just probably end it with that. I'll say this, guys. Look, I love you. I want you to be successful. I want you to figure out what it is that you really want. And we all want to be a part of helping you accomplish that. We're on this journey together. Guys, please, go over there and check Alex out. He is literally one of the freaking best guys I know. He's an amazing guy, super smart, understands this business. Check out his podcast. And as always, make sure you drop me a like. Make sure you subscribe. Turn on that freaking bell, baby.
Hit it.
This is
Drop me
a comment. Thank you, brother.
This guy. Thank you, man.
All right. I love you guys. Peace.